Hey everybody, and welcome to the weekly Scopes from the 26th of February right up until the 4th of March. Okay, so on the 26th of February, the moon enters void of course. This is a time when astrologers say to put off major things. If you want to listen to what else it means, listen to the end of this audio. Also today at 4:45, all times are in GMT time, remember, and it's all based on Vedic constellational astrology, which is based on where the lumen is, the sun and the moon, and the planets are in the constellation in the sky. So yeah, the moon enters Taurus at 4:45. People may be more focused on career and financial security at this time rather than trying new things when the moon enters the constellation of Taurus. Basically, practicality is the key theme of this transit. If you want to know more about what the moon in Taurus means, listen to the end of this audio. So yeah, that's the 26th of February, short and sweet there. Okay, so on the 27th of February, the moon enters out of bounds. The meaning of the phrase moon enters out of bounds is often a reminder to us to break free from the boundaries that we may have placed upon ourselves or those that have been imposed upon us by society, any groups we belong to, partners and our families and stuff, in a safe way. But it's your life and you're only going to live this life once in terms of reincarnation and astrology. So yeah, so moon out of bounds encourages us to expand our horizons and open our minds to new possibilities and experiences. In essence, it reminds us that we can reach beyond our current limits and achieve amazing things if we let go of the things that are holding us back. So this also includes self-destructive thought patterns, addictions and toxic relationships. And you don't have to do it all at once, or if you feel like you can do it all in once. So yeah, if you do want to do it all at once, you may be like, hey, today is the day that I'm just going to change my whole life and leave all that's toxic and pack up my old kit bag like a loser. Eliza Doolittle sings a song, tells us all about that. We're not going to care about what people think. We're just going to do it our way. Like Frank Sinatra sings, and if you're Gen Z and younger, look him up. So, so yeah. Basically, when the moon enters out of bounds, it can be a sign for us to take a leap of faith and trust in ourselves to find success and fulfillment. So if you are feeling confined or stuck in life, restricted, fenced in, remember that the moon out of bounds could be calling you to take a new path and explore the unknown. Also today, the moon enters the first quarter moon phase, so it can be a powerfully spiritual time and is best used to reflect on your spiritual journey and what lies ahead of you. So this first quarter moon is supporting you taking a leap of faith into something new. If you want to know more about what it means, the first quarter moon phase, listen to the end of this weekly audio. So yeah. Also today, Mercury enters, so it's a busy day. Mercury enters Aquarius at 11:18 a.m, so it's still the morning. So yeah, Mercury entering Aquarius is a time of new beginnings and opportunities. This transit of Mercury going into Aquarius signals a time of growth, creativity and higher awareness. It is a time that can bring new understanding and insight. I will talk about what it means for work, hookups, committed relationships and spiritual development, and explore the karmic meaning of Mercury entering Aquarius. The current energy of Mercury in Aquarius encourages us to be more open-minded and inventive in our approach to all aspects of our lives. It is a time to break out of your comfort zone and explore new possibilities, especially in all types of communication. So start that book, start that podcast, start that blog. It's always harder at the beginning, but if you keep on going, you'll get ideas and it will get easier, trust me. So yeah. Also, you can use this energy to explore your relationship dynamics, explore your spiritual path, and to strive for greater self-awareness. This is a time to seek new ways of understanding and appreciating your relationships and work to bring a new level of awareness and understanding to your spiritual practices or your personal development or intellectual reasoning skills, whatever it is you're working on. Mercury in Aquarius encourages us to become detached from toxicity in every single way, whether it be relationships, work, career, education, whatever, hookups even. So not to be heartless with people, but to be brutally honest about what you really want out of life and what you need to let go of to get it. So in terms of work, Mercury entering Aquarius brings many unusual opportunities. For some of you it stays the same, some of you have to go looking for these opportunities, but regardless, it's a time to think outside the box and consider all possibilities, no matter how random or centric, nonconformist, woo-woo that they may be. If you're willing to take a leap of faith and you find yourself in a unique and exciting situation that could prove immensely rewarding, but you're like, oh no, I'm scared, I gotta stick to what I know, go ahead, jump, take a leap of faith. Of course, plan, of course, have a backup plan if need be, but hey, you don't know if you don't try. And yes, it can be a little intimidating to try the new, but don't forget just to take the plunge and see where the winds take you. In the realms of hookups, as Mercury moves into Aquarius, it's time to experiment with new ideas and approach your relationships with a fresh perspective. Whether you're in a committed relationship, a casual hookup, or even a platonic relationship, shake things up and try out something different. Move away from the safety of traditional expectations and explore ways to spice up the connection you have with yourself and others. Mix and match ideas to create something never seen before. Think of it as a creative challenge that can lead to a deeper, more meaningful bond. And just watch out, because Aquarius is kind of detached, and in hookup situations this can mean people taking longer to respond to texts or DMs and all the rest of it, or just becoming more detached in their love making. So just watch out for that, especially if you're the emotional type and you like to make love. Thinking that this hookup was going into a committed relationship, one of the hookup partners may just decide that they don't want to do that, so be prepared for that. So yeah, in terms of committed relationships, there can be a crease in communication, because Mercury in Aquarius is reminding us that communication is key in committed relationships, or in all relationships, because we all need to know the boundaries that we need to stick to and respect. So strengthening your relationship requires you to open up your heart and be honest about your feelings, thoughts and needs. You could strive to create an atmosphere of safety and openness when sharing your inner desires with your partner, and they will be listened to in return, or you need to make sure that if your partner's opening themselves up to you, even though you may find it a bit cringy, or cliche, just try and listen to them and open up your heart a little bit. And you should be able to do this because Mercury in Aquarius is allowing us to be intense but detached with it and logical with it as well. So yeah, the presence of Mercury in Aquarius inspires us to be more creative in how we communicate, because the more we communicate in our relationships, the more likely we are to build lasting and supportive connections. In terms of spiritual development, it's a time to invite and explore the unknown, look within yourself and work on your spiritual growth and development. Aquarius is a sign associated with mysticism, the occult, intuition, which means that it's an excellent time to look for new ways to explore the unknown, take some time to meditate, practice yoga, or even explore tarot, numerology, astrology, or anything else that you feel in tune with. This can be a powerful opportunity to expand your consciousness by reading, because Aquarius is an air sign, Mercury rules the earth sign Virgo, which is practical and likes to be analytical, and Gemini that likes to, dive deep, even though they can be surface and light-hearted as well. So now's the time to read books, to watch videos, to really take that time to look for new innovative ideas. And this can even mean going back over old spiritual or occult texts to get the real authentic knowledge and to really commit to your spiritual path and gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world within you and without. So yeah, the karmic meaning of Mercury in Aquarius is that it's a time to step out of your comfort zone. We all have patterns and habits that make us feel secure and safe, but trying something new is important now. Take a chance to explore something that you've never done before. It could be as simple as trying out a new hobby or taking a class on something out of your usual interest, or even writing to someone online on a dating app or friendship app that you wouldn't normally talk to, or a colleague at work you wouldn't normally talk to. Whatever it is, just remember it's okay to be vulnerable and be open to new experiences. But yes, you know me, do not ignore the red flags, because doing so can be trouble. But if you do be a little bit more open-minded and get out your comfort zone, you can grow and develop in ways you never thought were possible. All in all, on the karmic level, this is a great time to break away from bad habits and create healthier, more positive ones. So, and Aquarius is detached energy, and Mercury makes us think. So this helps you to take a detached look at your own negative behaviour, and just, instead of shaming yourself and being guilty over it and bitter and resentful and not forgiving yourself, you're more likely to nurture yourself in an intellectual way of, let's pull my bootstraps up, which basically means let's just get on with the changes that I need to make and move forward in my life. So in conclusion, Mercury's entry in Aquarius is a time for you to take inventory of your life emotionally and spiritually. It's time to assess your relationships, your work, your hookups, and also your spiritual development. It's also a time of deep reflection and contemplation, as this planet's influence encourages us to think deeply and make decisions that are in alignment with our karmic paths. Taking a moment to pause and reflect on these topics of spirituality and what it is I really want out of my life can help you make wiser decisions and move forward with clarity and purpose. Also today, on the 27th of February, when Mercury is entering Aquarius, Mercury also makes a quintile aspect to the moon's north node. So this increases Mercury's creative communication energy. This is because Mercury's quintile to the moon's north node activates your intuition, helping you be more creative and mindful. And also the north node in astrology represents our higher purpose. So if you do a little meditation or just think about what you really want out of life, it will come more easier under this aspect, and it's going to, influence us for the next 3 to 4 days. So, take advantage of it, and the energy of Mercury in Aquarius as well, to explore your inner being and trust your instincts. This can be, again, it's supporting all spiritual growth and greater understanding of yourself and others. So make sure you take the time to stay connected to your higher self and find your inner truth. On the 28th of February, the moon void, of course, starts at 4:21. Then the moon enters Gemini at 3:03 p.m. GMT time. So when the moon enters the constellation of Gemini, in general, this is a time of increased communication, and it's good for sort of writing, research, reading, especially about technical, scientific, medical, intellectual sort of subjects. If you want to know more about what to do when the moon's in Gemini, listen to the end of this audio. Also today, on the 28th, Mercury is making a semi-square with Jupiter, so this can be a good time for making decisions or discussing important issues, as long as you do the preparation beforehand. It's also helpful to be aware of potential difficulties that can rise from negligent, thoughtless actions or lazy thinking. Keeping true to your promises and not overcommitting to more things than that you can deliver are important aspects of this transit. It can be easy to exaggerate or blow things out of proportion, but by staying focused and disciplined in our approach, we can channel this energy into something more beneficial. So make the most of this transit and allow it to help you make progress and achieve success in the long run. On the 1st of March, transiting Venus is conjunct Jupiter, and Mercury is also making a conjunction with Saturn. So the planets of love and generosity, Venus and Jupiter, will be in a harmonious conjunction. This marks a wonderful, blissful time to be alive, a time of great joy and happiness. We are likely to see incredible successes in the realms of love, art, creativity and social events. People will be more generous, warm-hearted, and it's a wonderful opportunity to express yourself with grand gestures of affection. Let's party and enjoy the beautiful moment together. At the same time, Mercury will be in conjunction with Saturn, so this planetary influence demands a more serious and realistic approach to our thinking. So yeah, have the fun that Venus and Jupiter's bring in, but make sure you don't go over your limits. And be practical, but don't be overly pessimistic and miss out on the time to have fun. But just don't have fun, spend all your money, and then you can't pay your bills at the end of the month, sort of thing. During this planetary influence, we must be aware of the potential for miscommunications or transport problems and delays. But there is also a positive side to this influence too. It can be an opportunity to take a step back, reflect on your current situation, and make sure you take the time to appreciate the little things in life. You should also use this influence to become more aware of your thoughts and words and become more intentional with them. By taking a more mindful approach to your thoughts, words and actions, you can shape your future more brightly and practically. On the 2nd of March, the moon void of course starts at 3:04 a.m. And then also today, Mars is making a semi-square with the moon's north node, so it encourages you to expand beyond your comfort zone and seek out new connections and relationships. It's also a call to action to explore new grounds and challenge yourself. This transit can bring a urge to establish physical or sporting contacts and participate in active, exciting and possible boisterous, energetic events. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. However, for those didn't get the connotation, hookup, sex, yeah. So, however, it may also be indication of some underlying stress and tensions, as efforts to cooperate can be complicated. Some of you may feel overwhelmed in situations that happen today, especially if they're challenging. So it's essential to remember that working with others and understanding with others rather than competing or trying to win arguments, doing too much, trying to be the best and be egotistical instead of working with others can also save you time, money and other resources as well. So yeah, with a little bit of patience and willingness to work with others, you can use the collective energy of the group you're working with to come up with solutions to any conflicts that you're facing, and people may offer you solutions to problems in your personal life as well. So just remember, even in the most challenging of situations, building bridges and fostering a culture of acceptance, understanding and compassion and support is possible. Also, working together to find solutions is beautiful, and by doing so you can create something powerful and lasting. On the 3rd of March, the moon enters Cancer at 3:28 a.m. So the key themes of the moon in Cancer are home improvements, family nurturing, taking care of bills and other domestic matters. And people can be more creative, romantic and idealistic right now. If you want to know more about the moon in Cancer, listen to the end of this audio. Also today, the moon enters its waxing gibbous phase at 10:20 p.m. In astrology, the moon entering its waxing gibbous moon phase happens just before the full moon and is a perfect time to reflect on your progress of any goals you're working towards, especially wellness, relationship and career ones. Other themes of this transit are transformation, organisation, strategizing, looking at the bigger picture, seeking truth and digging deep. The waxing gibbous moon symbolises taking stock of your progress, analysis, writing down things which block your progress, start new things if you feel that you can, even though we're going into the full moon, which is a time of letting go, but some people find that they can start new things. It's a time for strategizing, coming up with plans, writing a plan to make new changes if you can't do them right now, organising, so taking stock of your finances or any other resources that you need to improve or adjust so that you can reach any new goals or any new things that you want to do. The refinement of your goals, so looking at your, the goals that you want to achieve and thinking about better ways that you can go about achieving the things that you really want to achieve in your life, incorporation of all aspects of your objective, so looking at the bigger picture. So yeah, you may want to, for instance, become an astronaut one day, but what qualifications do you need to become an astronaut? What life changes do you need to make to do so? So it's all about being realistic about what we can achieve and the day-to-day habits that we need to bring into our lives to achieve these goals. Also symbolises the waxing gibberish phase, seeking truth, meaning and advancement, going beyond everyday repetition and conformity and superficial meanings, and socialising and looking for deep conversations, deep connections with others and yourself. So all in all, the waxing gibberish moon phase is a good time to take stock of the progress you're making in your life and doing all you can to find truth, find meaning, and to make progress in your life, going beyond the superficial, paying attention to the small details, and being flexible in your approach to reaching your goals. You may find it helpful to write down or voice note your emotions and thoughts right now, evaluate what's blocking your progress, and detail what you're doing right, where you need to make improvements and stuff like that, refining or developing a new strategy to achieve your ambitions if you're struggling. So yeah, that's the waxing gibberish moon phase. Also today on the 3rd of March, transiting Venus and Saturn are making an aspect. So this aspect is a reminder that our feelings of love, both for ourselves and others, must be balanced with responsibility and duty, which is also the key theme of the waxing gibberish phase. Though it may be challenging to keep our spontaneous expressions in check right now, it can help if you do this to make sure that any difficulties in relationships and emotional, if you're going through a breakup or anything like that, can be identified and dealt with. Take this opportunity to practice self-care and compassion while showing respect and dedication to your commitments. This way you can ensure that your relationship stays strong and meaningful and bring you joy and fulfillment. Saturn's influence here can make us all a bit cold towards our partner or ourselves, so try not to do that. Try and, yeah, they've made a mistake, voice your concerns. You should never make anyone go over your boundaries, but also just try and hear them out and do what's right for you ultimately. So yeah, that's the 3rd of March. So yeah, on the 4th of March, the moon's transit out of bounds at 5:26, and the transiting Sun semi-square to Pluto can be a period of potential power struggles and underlying tensions. It can be a time of change and radical transformations where we are tested to our limits. It is important to be aware of the potential for manipulative tendencies that can form during this transit, as this can lead to power imbalances and struggles and create problems. But it's also important to remember that we have a choice in how we respond to how others treat us. We can never, people's choices are their choices, but we can choose how we respond and let their other people's choices affect us, or even our own choices. We all make mistakes. Try not to beat yourself up about it, because this can be a period of inspiration and growth if you allow it, where you are able and encouraged to go beyond your boundaries and push yourselves to achieve your goals. Get out your comfort zone and all of that. You can use this transit to learn to use your strength and the power of positive thinking to bring about the positive changes you wish to see in your life. So yeah, that was the 4th of March. So what is void of course? Void of course moon in astrology is when the moon journeys through its cycle and it makes one last main aspect, i.e. a trine, conjunction, square, set star, opposition with another planet before changing signs, yet it still makes minor aspects. I call them major, and I do include them in my weekly scopes and daily scopes. But anyway, so It will still make minor aspects such as semi-squares, sextiles, quintiles and sesquiquadrate, but it won't make any what's called, in inverted commas, main aspects. When the moon enters void, of course, it can be a time of uncertainty and confusion for many. Because of this, some astrologers suggest it may be best to delay things during the moon void of course period. To be on the safe side, it may be sensible to plan ahead, stay clear of major events or decisions during the time period when moon's void of course. Sometimes moon void of course can just last for an hour, sometimes it can last for a day. If you can, it's a perfect time to take some time out to reflect and relax if you feel affected by the moon void of course period. In astrology, the moon represents our emotions and innermost feelings, so this is especially a vulnerable time for some people, especially for those with strong Cancer or water energy, Pisces and Scorpio in their chart. So water signs and those affected will especially benefit for taking time out to reflect and check in with themselves, especially on your belief patterns, maybe thinking of starting or continuing the work to let go of them. Excellent time to practice mindfulness and to be open to the universe lessons for you, giving gratitude. Even though it can be a challenging time, it can also be a powerful one if we use moon void of course periods as a perfect opportunity to cultivate our inner strength and wisdom. The first quarter moon, also known as the half moon, is a powerfully spiritual time and is best used to reflect on your spiritual journey and what lies ahead. Symbolically, it's a time to take stock of our lives and make any necessary adjustments to our plans. This period marks a time of increased intensity as well as a time of decision making. Obstacles may arise during this time, but it's also a time to push past them, to persevere and make the right decisions. And you may increase your career, relationships or personal development commitments. Conflict can occur between what you want to do and what you need to do. People can be more temperamental than usual. The first quarter moon phase is a time to focus on the present and the future, to open oneself up to the possibility of what can be accomplished. It's a time to set intentions and focus on goals. This is a time to take action, to start new projects and to take ownership of your destiny. When the moon enters its first quarter, you may make your mind up to succeed at your goals, feel more braver and have more willpower. There can also be an increase in your creative, artistic expression. Negatively, you can become more impulsive in words and actions. Ultimately, during this phase, it's important to remember to stay focused and persevere. Any obstacles that arise should be seen as learning experiences. In fact, the first quarter moon is a chance to, and also a great opportunity, to tap into the potential that lies within you, enabling you to make decisions that will eventually lead you closer to your goals. This is an especially important time for us to remember to trust our intuition and be brave enough to step outside of our comfort zones. When the moon's in Gemini, there can be an increase in communication. It's also good for all sorts of writing, research and reading, especially technical, scientific, medical or intellectual sort of research and reading and information gathering. In general, if you engage in deductive reasoning or intuitive guidance, there can be a lot of lively sort of discussion and an influx of ideas right now that can sort of like help you solve your problems or just make a deeper connections with people. You can also spend more time traveling and socializing with friends and locally than normally. Negatively, there can also be an increase in malicious gossip, biased thinking, superficial, trivially kind of speaking, and at worst people can talk cap to get what they want, tell lies or do whatever, dragging, criticising others or having prejudiced opinions that cause verbal or on the extreme end physical conflict. People may use intellectual or psychological warfare to weaken their opponents or nervous tension may get the better of them, and restlessness can cause some people to become more irritable than normal. over their inability to fix or cope with any confusion in their environment or thoughts right now. As well, this can make people more anxious. There can also be delays in critical communications and short distance travel that can also add to this sort of nervousness. People can also rationalise their emotions right now or use logic instead of their heart and their emotions, and this can cause problems in relationships. The best use of the moon in the constellation of Gemini is organising your own or family matters, catching up on reading and replying to essential communications, carrying out research and anything else that broadens your knowledge bank, or take time out to sort issues rationally with your close ones and explore your community. For your gardeners out there, when the moon is travelling through the constellation of Gemini, it's a perfect time to store roots and fruits, cultivate your land and plant all types of melon or zucchini seeds and cucumber, squash and courgettes and curcumins and things like that. The moon enters the constellation of Taurus at 9:33 a.m, so people can be more focused on career and financial security at this time rather than try new things. Practicality is the key theme of the moon transit in Taurus period. The moon is elated in Taurus, so this means it's a good position in astrology for the moon to be, because it can balance out the emotional aspects with the moon helping you to look at your emotions more practically, but negatively it can make you just not look at emotions at all and lead to you being a bit emotional, constipated and cold. But yeah, ultimately, because the moon is said to be in a good position when it's in Taurus, this supports progress in whatever you set your mind and actions towards right now. It can also be an excellent time to sort out issues, especially business issues, investment issues and stuff like that, anything to do with paperwork and practicality. Because this energy, moon in Taurus, gives you the ability to remain composed and calm and be more loyal and consistent in intimate, business and other relationships, and just in life in general, in your own personal goals. So it makes you be able to just focus on them a little bit more, so making it also perfect energy to take care of bills and do financial planning, spending time with family and friends or anyone else, enjoying the luxuries of life like the comforts and having a good family meal together, playing games or enjoying some other form of entertainment together can bring comfort to you right now. So you can do this with others or on your own, some self-care if you live alone and you're single. Negatively, people can become more possessive and stubborn and selfish, not wanting to share and looking down on others that they view as being less than them. So those who they think are poorer than them, don't wear good enough clothes, talk well enough and stuff like that. There can also be overspending and overindulgence in food, drink and intoxicating substances. Plus some people can be more materialistic than normal. The best use of the moon in Taurus energy is to commonize and plan, making time to solve any problems with your self-esteem, love and beauty. If you don't save, now is a great time for you to start doing so. If you do have investments, you should check that they are secure and consolidate them, reduce them and just make sure they're okay and do what you need to be done. And also a good time to look for new, fresh investment opportunities as well. For you horticulturists out there, if you put in hard work, the transit of the Taurus moon vibration will reward you during harvest time. So now it's great for planting vegetables such as parsnips, turnips, beets, sweet potatoes, radish, maca and carrots. And if you want to slow the growth of your plants for any reason, now is the time to trim your field and use any growth training methods that you know. So when the moon's in Cancer, people may focus more on home improvements, their family, nurturing themselves and others, taking care of bills, and other domestic matters can be the centre stage when the moon enters the constellation of Cancer. People may be more creative, romantic, idealistic, emotional and clingy and seek emotional security over anything else during this moon phase. You may want to spend more time in your own home or other people's home, rather than going out to socialise. Some of you may retreat into your own little cell, just wanting to be alone. Hurtful words and actions can deepen any pain you may be in already. So everything that is not a criticism can be taken this way. People can be more sensitive when the moon's in Cancer, and at worst, this energy can make some people patronising, fearful of the things and people they cannot control. Some of you may try to dominate others with your emotions, so it's not a physical kind of domination because we're talking about Cancer, water, but it's still a cardinal energy, so it's still an enterprising energy. So yeah, people can want to control others, and this can deepen tensions in relationships or cause them. It's essential that you don't eat your emotions because there's a risk of overindulgence in drugs, alcohol or other substances right now. It can be hard for some people to be honest about their feelings or even to face their feelings themselves. So even if people call them out and say, you know, you did this and that, they may just be like, I don't want to discuss it. Spending time in self-reflection, self-care, attending therapy and all forms of meditation is the best use of this energy, and taking care of all your personal matters and trying to get to the bottom of those psychological problems as well, which I'll talk a bit more about in a while. Also, spending time with children, nurturing your own inner child, spending time with family, friends or others with whom you have a close connection, and healthily meeting each other's needs is also a good use of this energy. Some of you, as I said, will spend more time entertaining, cooking for each other, in each other's homes, and just wanting to just socialise and just have a good time. Others of you may just rearrange your home and anything to do with sprucing up your home. Also, you may find yourself taking care of people who are more vulnerable, feeling down and depressed or elderly right now. Spending money in practical and decorative items, as I said, for your home. Or some of you may be looking for a new place to live in or invest money in, or take care of any investments you already have in relation to property and real estate, as you call it in the States, because I know that I've got some USA listeners, and thank you guys for listening. So yeah, also there can be money problems, especially those relating to family budgets, overspending, which may cause discomfort in your household during this time, so it's best to economise. Moodiness due to unhealed psychological emotion or spiritual wounds can surface from your subconscious mind into your consciousness, increasing the risk of misunderstandings and conflict in the home, social or work environments. When the moon is in Cancer, it's an excellent time to plant and replant leafy fruits, vegetables and anything else, herbs and spices and whatever. And fertilising and watering plants can also increase harvest. So it is said when you plant things under water moon, so Pisces, Scorpio, the end harvest should be more. So that was the weekly scopes from the 26th of February right up until the 4th of March.